The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, a wave of emotion at party's headquarters,
a famous sculpture is in town for Canada's 150th.
And a woman shares her techniques on finding inner peace. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Danielle Carr.
And I'm Dennis Arellano. The parties may have gathered Tuesday night to take in election results, but the night ended in uncertainty. Our reporters were on the various scenes to see what was happening.
It started out loud here at the BC Liberals headquarters in downtown Vancouver. Initial results suggested another election win for the party, but as the night progressed, things became quieter. The NDP closed the gap and the evening ended in uncertainty. Uncertain about where the party stands, uncertain about who's in charge of BC.
In Surrey, NDP candidates and supporters gathered at Riverside Banquet Hall to watch the election results unfold. NDP candidates took 6 of the 8 seats in Surrey, including the Surrey Green Timbers riding, which was won by Rachna Singh. She says she's ready to tackle key issues.
I'm a first-time MLA, but all the things that we have committed to, more affordability, better services, better jobs, that's what I plan to do for all the residents of Surrey Green Timbers.
Despite an early Liberals lead, NDP supporters continue to celebrate the party's wins in their city. Things were similar at the NDP headquarters in Vancouver.
I'm Spencer Harwood here at the Vancouver Convention Centre, which for tonight only is NDP party headquarters. The energy here in the room has been absolutely palpable.
Absolutely unreal. We are so happy to be here, and we are so glad that all the work that our candidates and we put together, all of us.
Every time the ridings flip from 41 to 43 to Liberals to NDP, the entire room goes crazy.
Suzanne Anton defeated!
Yeah! Excited. It's been an incredible night for the NDP, and hopefully we'll pull through at the end.
And we are still waiting for the final verdict on BC election 2017. Spencer Harwood in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine News.
As it stands right now, the Liberals have 43 seats, the NDP has 41, and the Green Party has a record of 3 seats. Now, it won't be clear if BC has a minority government, a Liberal majority, or even a coalition government until several recounts have been done and all absentee votes have been accounted for.
As the election wrapped up at the start of the week, and following the BCIT Student Association elections last month, young voter turnout came into question. Our reporter Vanessa Doban found out how BCIT's young voters felt about casting their ballot.
BCIT's Student Association elections are known around campus for their low voter participation. Last month's council elections were no different, with the majority of students not voting.
No, I didn't.
I had no idea there was an election going on.
I actually did.
No, I did not.
It looks like around 2,000 people voted. And considering our school population is around, I believe, 30,000 students, that's fairly low, actually. It's a lot lower than I would have hoped, but it's not out of line with my expectations.
The low voter trend for campus elections is similar to the attendance seen for young voters the last time BC went to the polls. In 2013, only 48% of registered BC voters between ages 18 and 24 cast their ballot. It's a trend that some BCIT students hope to break.
Not yet, but I plan to. I think the big thing is everyone kind of has their own opinion on things. If you're going to talk about politics, or if you're going to have your own opinion, then you might as well go out and vote and do something about it.
I will vote. I have no idea who. Normally my default's either the Green Party or the Marijuana Party.
while others will remain out of the voting booths.
No, I have not voted in the provincial elections, and I don't plan on voting either.
While some young people may feel outnumbered by older generations, some experts think the youth vote can make a difference.
So if young people to some degree make a loud statement, even if they don't have their candidates win, that voice will influence the people who are in power. Just remember, though, everybody has the same power. Somebody 58 and somebody 18 have exactly the same power. One vote, that's it.
A voting station was conveniently open on campus to encourage young students to vote, but whether or not this has a positive impact on turnout will not be known until all the ballots are counted. Vanessa Doban, BCIT Magazine.
Vanessa is joining us live now to tell us more about the voter turnout. Vanessa, what did BCIT's voting booths look like on Election Day?
Well, according to Vail Montgomery, who was the information officer here at the campus polling station, Election Day was very busy. Long lines were seen throughout the day as people who didn't opt for early voting decided to come in to meet that 8 p.m. deadline. Danielle?
What do you know about who was there to vote on May 9th?
According to Montgomery, a lot of the people were absentee voters, which means they were not part of this Burnaby North riding. Now, we don't know exactly how many young voters cast a ballot in this election, but those numbers will come in by May 24th. Back to you.
For the first time in Canada, a world-renowned sculpture comes to the streets of Vancouver. My co-anchor Danielle Carr reports on the gallery owner who's making it all happen for Canada's 150th celebration.
This clock is famous. It was created by the iconic Salvador Dali, known for his surrealist artwork. And instead of being in a museum, it's on display for free in downtown Vancouver, thanks to the owner of the Charlie Rosso Gallery, who's gifted it to the city so everyone can enjoy it.
To provide a piece that we pass by every day and it becomes part of our daily routine, part of our lives. Basically, what my aim is to have art more accessible to the public, not be intimidated to come into the gallery.
Staff at the gallery say Dali's sculpture brings his art to life.
And it's a wonderful treat to see the new perspective and be able to walk around something that would typically have been two-dimensional.
The best part for Strem is seeing people's reactions.
There are always people in front of the sculpture and making pictures or looking at it. People were passing by and they were saying like, thank you.
It's amazing to see it here. Like I've seen it in photos, in magazines, in albums, but to see it in physical reality, it's amazing.
The sculpture is part of the Canada 150 celebration and will be on display until the end of the summer. Danielle Carr, BCIT Magazine.
Coming up, record rainfall damages golf greens.
And blankets repurposed for a good cause.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station, like it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would never imagine I'd be walking the floors of CSM thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become hopefully my dream job.
BCIT broadcasts and online journalism, putting you to work.
Metro Vancouver has started an Unflushables campaign. Our reporter Veronica Beltran tells us about what we should and shouldn't be sending down our drains.
A quick flush.
is all it takes to keep our bodily fluids and solids out of sight and out of mind. But that's not the only thing some people are sending down their drains.
So we've identified 7 main cloggers, and they are wipes, paper towels, tampons and applicators, condoms, dental floss, and hair.
Unflushables was launched April 19th. Lorena Lopez of Metro Vancouver says campaign ads can be found in public washrooms as well as their website. Not only do these toilet cloggers cost Canadians $250 million a year to unclog, but they pose risks to our environment as well.
You wouldn't believe what people flush down the toilet. People would have like an old dish rag, so they'd flush that down the toilet. So I mean, if you think dental floss tangles up a pump, dish rags are even worse. I mean, you name it. I mean, sometimes pets, snakes, and things, goldfish, so they're always flushing fish down.
Do you know which one of these is flushable?
No.
Oh God, tampon. And okay, that's wrong, I'm assuming?
None of these are actually flushable. So how do you feel now knowing that?
Knowing that I've lived improperly for a while, I guess.
Definitely not flushable wipes. That one sounds like a trap. Okay, I'm gonna go with the flushable wipes. You can flush them.
Deflushable wipes.
So none of these are actually flushable.
The campaign will be running for 8 weeks in hopes that only 3 things end up being flushed away. Veronica Beltran in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
A snowy winter along with record-setting rainfall has hurt some popular spring businesses. Ryan Lehal shows us how one Surrey golf course has been impacted.
That's a sound that staff at Eagle Quest Coyote Creek Golf Course in Surrey haven't heard enough of on their greens this year.
Okay, sounds good. Our tee sheet is like 31% for today. Usually it would be close to 84%. Yeah, the course conditions aren't the greatest. It's still really muddy out there.
Over the course of 2 months in March and April, Vancouver set rainfall records. More than 200 millimeters of rain fell in March, and there were only 5 dry days in April. This has left avid golfers asking the same question.
Yeah, I know, you're not the only one.
When can we golf? The course is behind by a month, and the greens are not in optimal condition.
We have some wet areas and machinery can't get in to kind of cut it, and so the course doesn't sort of look as it normally would this time of year.
But while the course remains playable, numbers for the facility's driving range have increased.
I've seen probably that area double for this time of year, where I would normally expect.
Management says there's nothing the course can do to speed up the return of golf season. They're going to have to wait for a couple of weeks of no rain. Ryan Lehal in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Ryan Lehal joins us today. Ryan, how much is business down at the course?
Well, General Manager Scott Cranston says along with rounds being down, so too are pro shop sales. People aren't coming in to buy any apparel or gear, and that sales are down. They aren't thinking about golf season right now. He says the weather still isn't golf friendly, and that a couple of nice days followed by rain isn't going to get the course ready fast enough.
And what's the feeling like at the driving range?
Right now, Cranston says that those on the range would rather be on the course instead of practicing their swing. Business usually starts to pick up around February or March, but golfers aren't really used to being restricted to the range at this time of the year. The Pro Shop associate told us that the only ones on the course right now are those hardcore golfers. Back to you.
Remember making blanket forts as a child? Connect Place Children's Hospice is hosting a unique event on this cozy experience this weekend. Isabella Zavarisi has the story.
There you go. It's like an alligator mouth.
Making a blanket fort may seem like a regular parenting activity, but for the children and families at Canuck Place, it is much more than that.
It's not necessarily, ziplining or jumping out of a plane or the big things we make happen. It's a lot of the smaller things, reading a book together or just, having an evening together to watch TV and make popcorn.
Staff have already collected close to 500 pounds of blankets, all of which have been donated for the event Saturday at Telus Garden. The day is part of the month-long Best Day Ever celebration.
We really thought a lot about childhood wonder and nostalgia when we were creating it.
Canuck Place hopes this event will help to raise money and awareness so they can create more best days like this in the future. Christine Carr has volunteered with Canuck Place for 12 years and knows how important outings like this are for the families here.
It's a wonderful experience for the children and the families. Canuck Place is so good at arranging different events throughout the year.
The Blanket Fort is just one of the many ways that the staff here make difficult times feel like the best day ever.
It really is just a very, very special, magical place here, and I feel very blessed to be here and very honored to be with the children and the family.
Isabella Zavarisi in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Self-healing through meditation has launched one woman to share her techniques and passions with others. Trevor Knapp has this story.
After learning these meditation and breathing techniques, Jenny, the director of Indigenous Health at the BC Women's Hospital, developed a website called Awakening Indigenous to share her experiences with everyone.
My name is Jenny Morgan. I am from the Gitxsan First Nation, and I live and reside in Vancouver, BC. What I tend to notice when I'm practicing the breathing meditation, when I was really struggling with compulsive thinking, was being able to create space between myself and my thoughts. And that can be very helpful for people who do suffer with thoughts or compulsive thoughts. From a cultural perspective, for Indigenous people, we can really connect to that spiritual side. I think meditation was sort of like a doorway to experiencing a lot more depth to that spiritual side that's very important to having balance in one's life. So how did that feel?
Releasing.
Jenny's techniques piqued the interest of one of her coworkers, Trey Wells, who also works for the BC Centre of Excellence for Women's Health.
One of the reasons why I was attracted to it was just being overworked, feeling a bit frantic and feeling a bit unfocused, overwhelmed, and I really wanted some sort of a grounding exercise.
For Jenny, meditation and breathing equals healing for the body, mind, and soul. Trevor Knapp in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up, why does the BCIT library phase out some books, and where do they go?
Tourism Challenge brings influx of customers to Vancouver.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I've developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence went higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT broadcast and online journalism, realizing your potential.
Start my graphics, ready, camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
today on BCIT Magazine, striking,
make magic on a movie set,
frame,
and action, or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Hello, I'm Mac Britt, and I want to be your BCIT Mag Premier.
Hi there, I'm Cheyenne Berkananahowen, and you should choose me as your BCIT Mag Premier.
I want to be your BCIT Mag Premier because I want you to enjoy these great events. The Richmond Night Market is back, running from May 12th until October. It's located right off the Bridgeport Canada Line exit. It's quick and easy to get to. Go enjoy Canada's 150th birthday with concerts, live performances, carnival games, and food. This upcoming weekend also marks the last days of the season of the Abbotsford Tulip Festival. Get your tickets online to experience the Fraser Valley's colorful flowers.
And you should vote for me because I will offer you these great events. It's Mother's Day this weekend, and instead of going to the Abbotsford Tulip Festival, why don't you treat your mother out to an afternoon at the Mother's Day Tea and Plant Sale at London Heritage Farm in Richmond.
But the people want to know about great things like jazz. And on May 18th at the Trout Lake Community Center, there's a free live jazz trio concert.
From May 19th to the 22nd, the Whistler Go Fest will be jamming away up in Whistler. It's a 4-day event filled with sporting events and concerts under the skies. This year's Rockin' Band will be 5440, and it's free.
It's because of these great events that I've told you about that you should vote for me, Mac Britton, as your BCIT Mag Premier.
And it's because of the exciting events I told you about that you should choose me as your Mag Premier.
Thank you.
With floods ranging in the central Okanagan, this year's Emergency Preparedness Week seems to be even more valuable. Our reporter Shelby Meyer tells us how the city of Burnaby is getting prepared.
Sounding the alarm is Burnaby's self-proclaimed Duchess of Disaster. She's getting prepped to do an emergency workshop for the residents of Burnaby. With flooding in the Okanagan, she wants to make sure her city is ready for anything.
During the workshop, we are going to teach people how to plan, prepare, and be aware. So planning for emergencies, what can they do or should they do if they are separated from their families, and how they're going to reunify with their families? What is the route that they're going to take if they're going to get back home? Who's going to pick up their children, and how are they going to take care of their pets?
Seismologists have predicted a big earthquake to take down the Lower Mainland for years, yet many are still unprepared for such an event.
Oh, do I have a plan in case of emergency? No, I don't.
No?
No.
In the emergency, pull the guns out and keep the gold in your pockets.
Yeah, so we try and keep some spare food in the house and some water and flashlights and phones charged up, extra batteries and things, yeah.
They're absorbent. So what a great thing to add to a man's emergency supplies kit.
Flugraph says that most things you need in an emergency are already in your home, and with a little creativity, anyone can be disaster ready. Then it really is all in the bag. Shelby Meyer in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Tourism Vancouver has an ongoing initiative to give industry people and companies the chance to experience tourism in their own city. Amar Baines tells us how this challenge might affect the businesses involved.
The tourism challenge involves a passport such as this one, which requires people to get stamps of as many places as possible. One of those places is Maplewood Farms. They have to accommodate a huge influx of people who participate in the challenge. Business employees such as Julia McKenzie start to feel the stress of accommodating the influx of customers.
I think last weekend we had like 300 tourism challenge people in one day, and it just increases the overall traffic on the farm, as well as parking and lineups, getting in through the cashier and everything.
One of the reasons that attribute to the big jump in visitors is Tourism Vancouver making people visit new areas across Metro Vancouver and participate in pre-planned scavenger hunts.
Now we're encouraging the 25,000 participants, not only encouraging them, we're requiring them to visit at least one neighborhood. And so that would definitely have an impact on small businesses that aren't directly relying on the tourism business for success.
It isn't just small businesses that are affected by the mass rush of people. Even some of the bigger businesses such as Canada Place, Fairmont Pacific Rim, and the Vancouver Convention Centre are seeing huge amounts of visitors. The mad rush will resume back to normal on the first week of June when the challenge is over. Amar Baines in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Canada's largest school board is blocking internet access to Snapchat, Instagram, and Netflix. The Toronto District School Board says those three apps alone make up 20% of the network's daily activity. The BCIT Library book collection is constantly changing. Twyla Amato has the story on how the books are replaced, where the books go, and why it happens.
Students coming into the library this little shelf every day. But where do these books come from? Shelves like these contain phased-out books from BCIT's collection.
We need to make space for the current and new and fresh stuff, so things will get weeded off of the shelves. But usually it's because it isn't being used. Maybe it's in really poor condition and we bought a new copy, or there's a newer edition that we've replaced, and we'll often hold on to some well-used textbooks for a few editions, but eventually nobody wants them anymore.
But before this happens, a more detailed process takes place to ensure they're getting rid of the right books.
Of our areas, and then they go down to technical services and they actually double check them and make sure they aren't being used or any questionable things, so they're really safe in the things that we're discarding.
Books no longer deemed current are put into these withdraw carts and separated off to the places they need to go.
And then generally we'll either put them out for our book sale, and those are sold for $1 or so a copy to help generate a bit of money for the library, or we just hand them out for free, and those ones are usually taken by students.
And when the books are not taken from the free racks, BCIT donates them to other schools that have larger spaces to house more materials. Twyla Amato for BCIT Magazine.
Canada's first Starbucks Reserved opened on Main Street. Sierra Yazchak has more about the different kinds of coffee offered in the community.
Starbucks has taken a new approach to their coffee by adding a reserve roast. With a new store look and a new menu, Starbucks is trying a different approach with a specialty coffee line. Main Street has nearly 20 different coffee locations in 8 blocks. The competition is fierce as other locations already have specialty coffees. The Starbucks barista, Mary Lou Proudfoot, says how this coffee is different.
With the coffee culture that's growing in Vancouver and especially on Main Street, it's going to attract an entirely different customer base for us. And I think for us is incorporating not only our new customers and finding that experience, but bringing back our regulars and remembering what they liked before or what their world go-to was and helping them find something new, or maybe they do just want to stick with the Grande Pike. And how can we keep that experience consistent for them? I think we're going to have a lot of walk-bys and a lot of pull.
Each bean grown and harvested has its own rare, distinct flavor, making it appealing for every type of person. Starbucks barista Zach Beardsley explains the process of the coffee.
Reserve coffee it's like a whole new concept for some people. A lot of people just come in, they get a cup of coffee, and they don't really think about anything else. We're giving farmers an opportunity around the world in smaller lots and smaller farming communities. Growing coffee is some people's entire life. They make their entire living for not only themselves but their family.
With this addition on Main Street, it's just another different coffee experience available to Vancouverites. Sierra Yazchuk in Vancouver, BCIT Magazine.
Ladysmith is looking to set a new record for the world's largest street hockey tournament. The BC City set the record 10 years ago, but Hockey Night in Canada's Play On event has since taken the title. Ladysmith will attempt to regain the record on June 4th. If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.ca.
Thanks for watching BCIT Magazine. I'm Dennis Arellano.
And I'm Danielle Carr. We leave you now with another look at Eagle Quest Golf Course.